Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film a video about items I have at home for emergency situations, just in case something happens and I need to be prepared in some way. And I just want to put it out there right now, in case of emergency, the first thing you have to do always is take your Suggie to the vet, but you also have some small emergencies that you might be able to handle at home by yourself. Or you might want to be prepared for the time frame between an accident that might have happened and when you get to your vet. So please don't think that just because I have items at home for emergency situations, I'm not taking my Suggies to the vet. And I am in no way suggesting that you should not take yours to the vet in case something is concerning you. Whenever in doubt, take them to a vet. Let a vet have a look at them, because they are very fragile animals. They can get really sick really fast. We are no experts, most of us at least. Maybe some of you guys are vets, I don't know. I don't think you would watch my videos if you were, but who knows. But most of us keepers don't have the knowledge on Suggies as a veterinarian. So please always, when you think that something is off, take them to a vet. But for other small emergencies, I have a few items at home just so I'm prepared. Or even if I'm going to the vet and I have to have something at home for afterwards. Most of the items I have over here are either from the pharmacy, from Amazon, or from the vet directly, just so you know where I purchased them. I can't really post links or anything just because they're mostly purchased locally. So it might not even help you if I give you any names, because I live in Europe and most of my viewers do live in the US. I'm going to try to give you some suggestions as we film this, because I know of a few items that are being used very often in the US. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. The first thing I ever purchased was cranberry juice for UTI, that is urinary tract infections. In case my girls got them. And over the last 2 years that I've had my Suggies, I needed this a couple of times. Of course, this is a new bottle, so I always open it and then I drink the rest. I don't keep it open for 2 years, but I put 1 teaspoon of cranberry juice and half a bottle of water, and I just let them drink it during the night, and it kind of helped. Cranberry is really well if you have an UTI, even as a human, and it also works really well for them too, so keep that in mind. Another thing that I have for UTIs for the Suggies are homeopathic drops. These are from Dusker. It's a brand in Europe. I don't think you have this in the US, but you can always ask your vet if they can suggest something different. I can just add these to their drinking water instead when they have an UTI. I never actually opened this bottle, but I know they're really good because I have a friend and she gives them to her dog when her dog has an UTI. So they work. And I just wanted to have those in case I don't have any cranberry juice at home. And yeah, that's that. Then I also have the same brand of drops, but for diarrhea, because sometimes Suggie do get runny poop. That often happens if they either eat too many yogis, or if they ate something very acidic like orange, or even from watermelon. They do love it, but it causes diarrhea if they eat a lot of it. And for that kind of emergency, I have these drops at home just so I can add them to their water and hopefully they will feel better soon after. Of course, if the diarrhea persists after 1 or 2 hours, I strongly suggest you take your Suggies to a vet, because you want to find out the cause. It might be something else than food. It might be bad food, or they might have a parasite, and also they can get easily dehydrated from runny poop or even from vomiting, and they might need some fluids. Then I have a couple of different bottles of Bach flowers, and some of you might know what these are, others probably not. I just like to have these at home for when their behavior is off. And I have to be quite honest, I'm not really persistent, because if I were, I probably would not be having this problem with Oreo right now, as some of the vlog viewers know, he is still not introed to his biological sister because he is very mean, and I've had her for 6 months now and they're still not introed. And probably if I would just be persistent and just keep giving him the drops every single day, this would work out much faster, but to be quite honest, I'm quite lazy about it. I'm trying to get better though. So I have different kind of flowers here. I have wild rose, I have holly, I have beech, what else? Water violet, and one more, chicory. And I'm not going to go into the details. If you want to know more about them, you can always Google them. There's also lists of what flowers you would need for what kind of behavior. I do have some knowledge on them, and I like to keep extra ones at home for the Suggies without alcohol. And I have the other 38 with alcohol, but I don't like to use them on the Suggies. Another Bach flower item that I have is a mixture, the Rescue Remedy. I think many of you guys will be familiar with this one. I used it a lot on Dopester while he was sick. Some of you may know from the vlogs that my Suggie had cancer and unfortunately passed away this spring. And when he was feeling a bit low, I always gave him Rescue Remedy and he felt so much better afterwards. So I like to keep these on hand in case something is off with them, in case they are looking lethargic or what have you. But of course, this does not substitute the visit to the vet if you feel like it should be done. I was just doing it for the Dopester because sometimes he was feeling a bit low because of his treatment, and then that perked him up. These next two items that I have are actually kind of related, I guess. They're pretty much the same thing, and they are probiotics. I have these over here in powdered form, and I have these over here in gel form. So both of those have been suggested by my vet and successfully used by myself for the Suggies. When Dopester was having runny poop from his meds, I always put this in his food, and it helped a lot with his digestion. And now I also have this in gel form. I haven't actually used this. I only had the powdered version of it, but now I have the tubes just because they're easier to administer. One last thing I always have at the house just in case they get hurt is something for their pain management, and these are drops, and I'm not sure if I should show you the name, so I'm just going to show you the box maybe. There you go. Just because I don't want you guys to purchase these without actually consulting a vet first, but they have been prescribed by our vet, and I always have them at home. I have the right dosage as well, just in case someone hurts themselves, their paw or whatever, so that they don't suffer while we are on our way to the vet. Of course, I do suggest you call your vet first before administering, because you don't want the meds to interfere with the course of treatments that is going to be taking place at the vet's office. So if you have to take them to a vet, which you probably will in case they get hurt, just make sure you inform your vet before giving them the drops. Also, you don't want to take them to the vet and they already have received pain meds, and then your vet doesn't know about it and gives them some more, because that's not going to be good either. Just make sure you're doing the right thing and consult with your vet before actually giving them the drops or whatever pain medicine you are using. Another item that you want to keep in your emergency kit is a syringe, and I have this one right here. It's an insulin syringe. The good thing about it is that it's very precise and you can actually administer a very small amount of meds. The Suggies don't need that much since they're so small. That's why I like this so much. I used it a lot on the Dopester while I was giving him his cancer treatment, and I kept a couple of them just for emergencies, and I'm dropping them all over, but you get the point. You should really keep one at home. What else do we have over here? Another thing that you might need is an emergency cone, and I have this one over here. I made it for Dopester, but he was so stressed about it that he did not wear it for very long. But if it were something very serious, you will need a cone just so you can make sure that they do not touch the sick part of their body and maybe self-mutilate. I also have a few items for external use for emergencies, one of them being Vaseline, or I think you call it petroleum jelly in the US. Especially if you have male sugar gliders, this might be a lifesaver sometimes. because, how do I put this? Sometimes they stick their penis out and it does not retract back inside, and it dries out. And actually Dopster had this, and they had to amputate half of his penis because it was not treated in time and it started dying off. But you can do something against it if you catch it early on and you're noticing that they can't retract it back. You just put a little petroleum jelly or Vaseline on their penis so that it can slide back inside more easily. And if it still stays out for more than a couple hours, you have to take them to a vet, because a vet has to help them pull it back in. I also have silver water for disinfecting wounds. I think it's called collodium silver in the US, maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm going to Google it after I film this video, and I'm going to add the name right here. But I use this a lot on the Dopester to clean his wounds and to disinfect them. Another thing that I used a lot were eye drops, and I use this to clean his wounds as well. And I have them in little individual ampules, and I just opened one, put it on his cheek, and cleaned up the wounds. The good thing about using the ones in the individual packagings is the fact that you can just, remove one, open it, use it, and the other ones remain sterile, and they can be used for a very long time. The reason why I like to use these for the Suggies is because they contain dexpanthenol, and that helps with the healing of their wounds, and also because if you can put them in your eye, it's not going to hurt them if you put it in their eyes. With the other items, you have to be a bit more careful so that it does not go inside of the eye, but with these ones right here, I didn't have to worry about it. One last item that I have in my kit is a gel for wounds, and my vet recommended this for the Dopester again because most of these items were purchased for him. And the good thing about it, it's completely natural and it's not a problem if they ingest it, but it's not ideal either, but it's not going to be a problem. It's really good. It worked really well on the Dopester. Again, I am not going to recommend the name. You just have to talk to your local vet and see if they can suggest something over there that can be purchased. But just so you know, it contains medical grade honey and hypoallergenic lanolin, sunflower oil, cod liver oil, calendula, aloe, and vitamin C and E, and zinc oxide. These ingredients put together form this wonderful gel right here, and it's super good for wounds. You can also use it on humans, not a problem. I really love this thing, and I actually have one for myself as well. There's a couple more items that I have for the Suggies, but I don't keep them in the emergency kit. You want to have gauze on hand in case they get hurts their tail or whatever. You might want to keep at least one wide straw at hand just in case they injure their tail. And of course, sterile cotton pads just so you can clean their wounds. So that was about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Leave a comment below if you have any more questions that need to be answered. If you want to, you can follow us on our vlogging channel. Sometimes I post vlogs over there when I find the time. We also have Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, and I will add all of the links and names in the description box below. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!